What if the strongest love story on screen isn't told through grand speeches or dramatic embraces, but through pauses, shared stillness, and the courage to say nothing at all? Today we're exploring why the chemistry between Yulong and Yang Meimei feels so compelling, precisely because it refuses to shout. Restraint is often misunderstood as a lack of expression, but in truth it is a refined form of emotional confidence. In the pairing of Yulong and Yang Meimei, restraint becomes the foundation of attraction. Nothing is rushed, nothing is overstated. Every movement appears deliberate, as if emotion is carefully weighed before being released. This restraint gives their connection gravity. Instead of overwhelming the audience with intensity, they invite viewers to slow down and observe. The absence of excess creates space for interpretation, reflection, and emotional involvement. It mirrors real-life maturity, where feelings are not proven through urgency but through steadiness. What makes this restraint powerful is trust. Trust in the audience's sensitivity and trust in the moment itself. By holding back, they reveal more. Their chemistry suggests that true emotional strength is not about how loudly one feels, but how confidently one can remain still. Silence in this context is not emptiness. It is communication in its most honest form. Between them, silence carries intention, clarity, and emotional intelligence. A pause before speaking, a look that replaces a sentence, or a moment of shared stillness becomes a complete emotional exchange. This kind of silence does not distance characters. It draws them closer. It signals safety. When words are unnecessary, it suggests understanding has already been reached. For viewers, this feels deeply human. Many recognize this language instinctively because it reflects moments in their own lives when connection required no explanation. Rather than guiding the audience with explicit dialogue, these silences allow viewers to feel instead of interpret. The emotional meaning arrives naturally, without instruction. That is why it resonates so widely across cultures and ages. In a media landscape filled with constant noise, this use of silence feels almost radical. It reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful conversations happen without sound. The appeal of this chemistry lies in its sense of arrival. Nothing feels premature. The connection unfolds as if shaped by time, experience, and emotional learning. It does not rely on instant attraction or dramatic urgency. Instead, it reflects what happens when two individuals grow into their feelings. This maturity feels earned because it is patient. Emotional closeness develops gradually, supported by consistency rather than intensity. There is no rush to define, claim, or display the relationship. That restraint signals confidence, an assurance that what is real does not need immediate validation. For many viewers, this is deeply reassuring. It reflects relationships that have survived uncertainty, misunderstandings, and personal growth. The chemistry acknowledges that maturity often comes with fewer words, softer gestures, and a clearer sense of self. Rather than idealizing youth or passion, this portrayal values emotional readiness. It suggests that love, when mature, is not overwhelming but grounding. What makes this pairing compelling is not individual brilliance, but emotional equilibrium. Neither presence overwhelms the other. Strength and sensitivity exist side by side, creating a dynamic that feels equal and sustainable. One offers steadiness, emotional grounding, and calm authority. The other brings warmth, intuition, and emotional awareness. Together, they create balance rather than contrast. This balance allows both characters to remain fully themselves without competing for attention. Audiences instinctively respond to this harmony because it feels safe. There is no power struggle, no emotional dominance, No need for one to diminish in order for the other to shine. Instead, their connection demonstrates mutual respect. This balance also mirrors healthier relationships in real life, where support replaces control and understanding replaces performance. By prioritizing balance over spectacle, the chemistry feels believable and enduring. It is not designed to impress in a moment, but to last in memory. One of the strongest indicators of genuine chemistry is consistency across changing circumstances. Whether placed in tension-filled environments or quieter emotional spaces, the connection between these two remains intact. The tone of the story may shift towards suspense, introspection, or intimacy, but the emotional bond adapts rather than disappears. This continuity suggests that the relationship exists beyond the demands of the plot. It feels internal, not situational. For viewers, this reinforces credibility. The connection does not depend on heightened stakes or dramatic framing. It survives because it is rooted in mutual understanding, not external pressure. This adaptability across genres also speaks to emotional depth. It suggests that the bond is flexible, resilient, and grounded in character rather than circumstance. The audience senses that if the story continued beyond the screen, the relationship would continue too. That belief is rare and deeply engaging. Authenticity on screen is often strengthened by comfort off screen. In public appearances and shared spaces, their interactions appear unforced, marked by ease rather than display. There is attentiveness without exaggeration, closeness without performance. This subtle off-screen dynamic reassures viewers. It aligns with what is seen on screen rather than contradicting it. There is no need for heightened gestures to prove connection. The calm familiarity speaks for itself. Importantly, this restraint avoids the feeling of being curated. It allows audiences to observe rather than be persuaded. When nothing seems rehearsed, belief grows naturally. This consistency between on-screen portrayal and off-screen presence builds trust. Viewers are not asked to accept an illusion. They are invited to recognize something that feels genuine. In a time when audiences are highly sensitive to artificiality, this quiet alignment becomes a powerful form of credibility. At the heart of this chemistry is a philosophy of affection, rooted in behavior rather than declaration. Care is shown through presence. Commitment is reflected in consistency. Support appears quietly, without demand for recognition. This portrayal reframes love as something lived, not announced. There are no grand confessions required to validate feeling. Instead, emotional security grows from reliability and respect. Such a depiction resonates across cultures because it reflects how love often matures in real life. It is not constant intensity, but enduring attentiveness. Not possession, but partnership. For many viewers, this is deeply moving. It suggests that love can be calm without being distant and meaningful without being dramatic. It reassures audiences that depth does not require spectacle. By defining love through action, this chemistry offers something rare, a vision of connection that feels achievable, healthy, and quietly profound. Loud stories spark reactions. Quiet stories create memory. This is why the pairing stays with you after the episode ends, why a single look can feel more convincing than a dozen declarations. When silence speaks, it doesn't fade, it echoes. If this kind of storytelling resonates with you, where emotion is earned, not announced, subscribe to Update X 2024 for more thoughtful, globally minded entertainment insights. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow the channel for future stories that value depth over noise.